Hello and welcome back to the Sell Like You podcast with me, Harriet Meller. And today's episode is all about the campaign that hit so hard we had to turn it off. Now, I know I talk here a lot about sales. That is why you are here. And essentially, we want to drive the most return. We want to be lazy salespeople. We want to find the most effective way to drive the most return because we are lazy salespeople. And that's okay. I'm okay with you being a lazy salesperson. I love to be a lazy salesperson, but it means we have to be really effective in the ways that we show up. And I would also say that it's scalable. So don't compare chapter 20, like somebody else's chapter 20 to your chapter 1. If you are just starting out in prospecting, you need to do the hard yards, and some fantastic episodes here for you, which I know will help you. If you've been here for a little while, welcome back. Thank you for being here and letting me have time and space in your ears for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. Now, this podcast was built because I want to give something back. I want to help everybody in a sales role and every organization drive more sales because I know that it can be done. I have done it and I enable organizations doing it all around the world every single day. And so this campaign that I'm going to reference in this episode hit so hard, we did have to turn it off. The request was, please stop making calls and stop booking meetings. This was an external team that I'd worked with for a little while. We'd kicked off some enablement and some foundational led training, and we outperformed previous blitz sessions by over 300%, which was amazing. Now we're going to get really hyper focused on outreach. We're going to look at prospecting. We're going to look at how we can do that and how this organization did that as well. Now, as I mentioned, the results came in so hot, we had to turn off the meetings. But this just shows that resource strapped teams can still win big, that most campaigns fail because they're too generic. They are too boring. They are too broad, and they are not relevant to the audience that you are following up with. We all utilize data, whether it be a really streamlined CRM solution like HubSpot, Pipedrive, or Salesforce, or something built internally. We've got intel and data in our inboxes. We have got trade shows and networks and people we've engaged and connected with on LinkedIn. But this one was different. This campaign was built on clear, relevant pain points and real client data with a really smart message, even if I do say so myself. Now, blitzes usually miss because most blitzes default to spray and pray. A rep fires out some calls or some emails without structure or insights, and they just hope that something's going to stick. The business then wonders why the sales team are not connecting. The sales team get frustrated because it's just not working. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, I think most of them think. And so the common issues, as I mentioned before, is that it's too broad and it's too generic and it's really boring. If I'm not inspired as a salesperson, I can't possibly inspire the people on the other end of the phone. And therefore we are going to lose. And so if there's a weak message or no hook or no offer and it's not clear as to what we're actually trying to do, there may be some sales and marketing misalignment or unclear campaign goals as to why I'm calling and what I'm going to say next. And without a narrow focus, outreach just gets ignored. You are just another phone call. You are just another email that's going out there into the abyss and hoping to stand out. Now, the blitz session that we ran, we took one issue. Now, this issue we took was something that was identified through the tech team. It was an MSSP, so a managed security solution provider. That is a mouthful. And they used this intel to be able to create a campaign and build urgency as well as education. So my recommendation was to take this intel of this solution, of this gap within cybersecurity, and take it to the prospects and past clients or inquiries and those that were existing clients as well with the intel that we had, which we knew there was a gap. We'd been able to run an assessment. It was data that was available to the outside world, and we were able to identify that there was an opportunity. Now, there are different ways of doing this, and I'll give you an example that you may already understand, which is intent data. If we look at intent data or something that will track visitors to your website, you will be able to see or get a good idea of who's there and who's engaging. If I called that prospect and said, hey, I saw you've been snooping on our website, tell me more about what you're doing, they may feel a little bit like Big Brother is watching. If we know they're searching for something on Google and we may have seen their IP come up a couple of times using something like Apollo, we're going to use that data very differently to maybe how many people use it. Same thing happened with this assessment we'd run. We could ring and say, hey, we've done assessment. We didn't ask you. This has happened. This has come up. We can often put people on the back foot. And we really want to be careful about that, because when people are on the back foot, they protect their decisions or the gaps or the opportunity hard, because you are essentially saying that you have made a mistake or you don't know what you're doing. And so we took this solution, this opportunity, this gap, and we looked at how we could apply that around their clients, around prospects that were warm and engaged, and people that we hadn't spoken to for quite some time. So pretty cold. We framed it around education. So no pressure. We just thought you might like to know that we've identified this with a number of our clients, and we can help you find this out too. And so when we came from this perspective, we were able to utilize an existing list, frame it with education, no pressure, just here to help and provide some insight. And then we offer a structure around, if you'd like to find out more about how you can do this yourself, because this was something they could do themselves, we had a handy little DIY checklist, a little cheat sheet, a little help you. So it created some natural urgency around going away and exploring it internally. What we would anticipate would happen which was that they would go back into the team. They would see this for themselves. They would do their own research and find that, yes, this was a gap. What then happened is that they would then have to then come back and say, well, actually, we can't fix this within this time frame, or we don't have the capability to do that. They would naturally come back to the people that educated them, because we had the option to do it for them. We tied it into existing vendor stories and connections around what they were already using that we knew and had visibility on, or around what they engaged with us previously around, and tied the story and the message back through. There is nothing worse than throwing something against the wall and hoping that it's going to stick, because we don't have the intel. So we're just chucking all these things at them and we're hoping they're going to say yes to something. Whereas if we can connect the dots back to when we last spoke to them, very similar to what we do within lead development as a service, we're able to connect those dots back through and then have a conversation that's meaningful. The end result was that we booked so many meetings, we were asked to pause. The conversation was, please, can we stop making calls if it's going to result in meetings, which we knew it was. So we'd hit this over 300% in meetings booked in comparison to other blitz sessions that had been run, and the business was ecstatic. The team were motivated. They could really see how we've taken this idea and this opportunity and turn it into something that means something to their prospects. The reason why most people feel a bit awkward or a bit pushy or icky, maybe some of the words used, to actually go and follow up is because they've got nothing to offer. You said, don't call me again until June, and it's January. So what should we do next? They're really lacking that kind of next step because there's no value being given. There's no webinars, there's no white papers, there's no reports, there's no, hey, we saw this and thought of you. That has to continue being generated so we can constantly find reasons to engage with them again. And so, as we said, we exceeded those expectations. It wasn't louder. It wasn't anything too far left field, and it didn't cost us anything. It cost us a bit of time from the engineers, a reporting scraping capability, and then time from our prospectors, which is their job. And so if we break down the core framework that you could copy, then I think I'm going to share that with you here. So we're going to start with a real pain point. So looking at something, whether it be visibility gap, a compliance, an opportunity that you've identified within certain industries, we can get really specific, really granular. We don't need a large volume to be able to do this and do it well. We're going to mine the CRM for those quick wins and white space. This may come back to something that we've talked about previously around reigniting past opportunities. It's certainly something that we can deliver. And then educate with value, educate in a way that means something, educate in a way that doesn't look that you're looking for something in return. And then offer clear next steps. So whether it's a DIY, whether it's a cheat sheet, whether it's an ROI calculator, something they can go away and learn or educate or take upon themselves and then bring back into the fold. Add vendor proof, add something better together. If you're an MSSP, if you're delivering something and you've got technology you can bring in, share stories and examples of how others have worked together. You don't need to do this alone. And the power doesn't need to just be in the message. It needs to be in the sequence, in the structure, in the way that you're going to follow up. And don't take it personally if they're not quite ready for it. Open it with value. If they can engage with that, do something with it, you're going to be next in line for when they have a real opportunity to work with. And so this wasn't a once-off for this organization. I was fortunate to work with them for a number of years, and we provided training across a number of different areas for their team. And so what we found was that we could almost replicate this structure and find different ways to engage and reignite and work with other vendors to be able to make an impact in the market and keep the conversations flowing. As I've mentioned before, we don't ever want to drop anything off cold. And if we wait a year, then it can be really hard to pick up again. You can use your confidence and you can be like, hey, I think I dropped the ball on this one, or I know we spoke maybe a year ago and I'm sure a lot has changed. Would love the opportunity to re-engage, and here's why. So sales and marketing alignment works really well. It makes everything just sing, everything off the same hymn sheet, as I would say. We use pain point focused blitzes quarterly. So don't ever let a blitz session go beyond a quarter, because the team will lose that enthusiasm and they'll also lose the ability to do that, and it will take time to re-engage again. If you've got a sales team, or if you are a salesperson, prospecting should be part of your everyday. In the sales planners that I developed, there is a prospecting element for at least 3 every single day, so that regardless of how mature you are in the role, regardless of how busy you are, you can always find an opportunity to engage with 3 prospects: LinkedIn, email, phone call, text message, depending on your relationship level. Keep campaigns narrow, keep them timely, keep them relevant, and then think about how you can build templates so that we can rinse and repeat all the time. Anything we ever do that works, we document it. Anything we ever do that we try that doesn't work, we document it. We look at ways that we can constantly and continuously improve, because that's what sales is, and that's what selling is within a business. We're constantly learning, we're constantly evolving, and when we stop, it's when we start to decline. And so for me in sales, I love learning. I love finding out what other people are doing. I love listening to the way that people handle calls, and we're constantly testing and trying new things to give through to our clients. And for you as a sales leader, as a salesperson, you get the ability to do that. You can pick up the phone to anybody. You have that incredible skill set that will allow you to speak to people, engage with them, and always lead with value for the best results. So when a campaign is this good, we look at ways we can scale it. We look at ways that we can repeat it. And we allow the team to be able to engage and find their flow and then apply it again and again and again. And so the win like this, it's not luck. It's not just born out of, oh, that was a great message or it was a great story. It was structure. It was clarity. It was execution. And it was time that was dedicated to those opportunities. So I hope this has been helpful. As you know, my episodes are packed full of insights. It's like a mini training session. And the idea for why I build my episodes like this is that I want to give you the capability to look in, the ability to see what we're doing, the ability to see what other organizations are doing across the world, whether it's in your industry or completely different industries to you. We can learn so much from so many people. Something just to leave you with is that you may or may not know, I used to own a day spa. So it was something completely left field. I built it whilst I was in tech sales and actually sold it about 3 years ago. And it was a great experience for me to put my knowledge and my capability into an industry I had no idea about. Firstly, it's B2C, so it's consumer led. It's driven a lot by marketing to get those leads in, and we don't have the ability to actually call people and engage with them. So I was able to use my sales skills and my knowledge to be able to partner with great brands to bring them into the spa. We were able to work with all large organizations that would put us on their intranets and really get us spread out. And so the great thing today is that I get asked to work alongside organizations like L'Oreal and large salons across Australia and the UK as well, to support them in growing their businesses through revenue and through additional services or additional products, because we know that they know where they can fill up and where they can hit that ceiling of revenue in a salon with people. And the great thing is, when I get exposure to that, we can bring it back into this industry. And now we work with organizations from accounting and architecture, but really hone our skill set and really work and emphasize the work that we do across the tech, SaaS, and cyber platform, which is truly where my heart is. So I do hope you enjoy these episodes. Like I said, they are a little bit more impactful and a bit more focused around what you can take take from this and implement. So please do that. If this has helped you, I would love to know. I'd love to hear from you. You can find me over on LinkedIn. It's my happy place. It's where I spend a lot of my day. So please drop me a note. Let me know if this one connected. And there's a couple of extra points for you in the show notes as well.